South Los Angeles. I had the impression before I started working here years ago that it must be all the same. But in fact, just a mile away or a few miles away, there's a community that's completely different. They may be experiencing the same economic problems, but in terms of the characteristics of the neighborhood, be it because it's in a commercial zone or it's in a residential zone or whatever it is, it's a completely different situation, and the needs are different.
So do you say like the demographics of people that come here are different than...
The demographics here are completely different than the demographics. I was at another library on Normandy and 106th Street near Washington Park High School, and it was completely different. According to the census, it's the same, but the reality is that they may not be the same people that... This is a predominantly Latino area. So they're definitely, it's integrated, but there are pockets where it's not as integrated. It's pretty segregated between different ethnic groups.
Okay, so do you find, you were saying there was a lot of kids here coming to do homework or mothers getting information about pregnancy. Is there a specific kind of information that people come here for, or is it pretty spread out?
It's really spread out. And the other thing is that about probably more this community than anywhere, it's a family affair. That when the moms come, they come with their children, and then maybe the grandparents and the aunt, and everybody within the family has their own special needs, and they'll try and take care of them at the same time. So somebody else may want to rent the video, somebody else may want to use the computer, somebody else may need books for high school, somebody else may be just starting to learn how to read. So that happens all at once, and it tends to get extremely busy after 3 o'clock. Today's not going to be so bad because we close at 5, but on the nights we're open till 8 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, it's jammed. I mean, it is jammed.
Yeah.
Standing room only.
So people just tend to come like en masse and then just hang out for a couple of hours.
Because of No Child Left Behind and the tutoring that's available now, we're not supposed to give that as a priority, but we do always make sure that those people have somewhere to sit. So a lot of people come with tutors. So in here, the tables are all filled with people doing homework and tutoring and computers going on and all kinds of stuff.
Do you have like tutoring or homework programs here for kids, or kind of after school things?
Yes, we have a homework center, but because of the budget cuts, we haven't been able to. That's supposed to go with a homework page that's able to monitor. These computers here are part of the homework center computers. You can see the signs up there that the priority is given. If somebody has homework, then I might have to ask somebody who's just playing games to get off of it so that they can do their homework. And then, but otherwise the librarians now are functioning as. The Graham Library has a homework center, and they have 2 homework pages now. But right now, until we get the budget on its feet, the librarians have to.
Have the budget cuts affected the library a lot recently, or can you talk about the ways in which it's affected the library?
One thing that happened is the county had a hiring freeze. So anybody who left or retired or for whatever reason, we were unable to replace them. So, and then the materials budget was cut. So the priority was given to young people's books and things. So probably more of the cuts would probably be in the adult, probably in the adult fiction area or something like that. But we seem to be pretty good on the children's. Periodicals got cut too. But again, because we're Proposition U, is the name of the proposition that funds the libraries that are in the unincorporated areas, and we've done pretty well. You know, we're a really small library, and we actually can only handle so many materials. But we're open 6 days a week, and we're still open at night. We're just understaffed. That's all. We just have to work harder.
Are you trying to hire more people?
We can't until the freeze
is over.
We're hoping maybe next year.
Yeah. Do you see the library like getting downsized more because of that, or do you think everything will?
No, the county was really good actually. They didn't have to, LAPL had a problem with, they had to lay off a bunch of librarians, but county didn't do that. We had to, there were some changes made in the part-time situation, but they don't have any contracts. And but full-time, we didn't have to. A lot of people had to move around, and they changed the hours so that they had to be working different hours because the libraries were only open so many days a week. So there were like sacrifices made and adjustments made, but nobody got laid off. So we were really happy about that.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Could you talk for a minute about maybe like the literacy in the area? Do you find that people come here, like to strengthen their reading skills as students or like as adults or what?
All of the above. Usually, as adults, I don't run into dealing with the literacy with adults too much. I don't know. I would say more like literacy in terms of maybe online literacy. Like they come in because they want to learn how to use a computer, or how to navigate a web page, or how to set up a email account, and all that kind of thing.
And is that something you help facilitate here,
Yes.
like helping them navigate the internet and learn how
all
to?
the time. And then the kids already know how to do that. They just know how to do that. Their sisters, they learn from their sisters and brothers, and they learn from each other. So, but it's the adults who come in that you help with that. But literacy is a big need in terms of the reading capacity. So, and I think I would say in this area, I think the second language is a big issue because, for instance, a man came in the other day, example, and his son was in first grade and he was struggling with his reading a little bit. And they don't read or write English at home, but they teach only English in school. And so we know as librarians that no matter what language you're speaking, it's important for the parents to read to their kids at home. But they felt that because he needed to learn English in school, they didn't want to reach him in Spanish because he was going to get mixed up.
Right.
So I was really trying to explain to him, and they were like, no, we need someone to sit with him and read to him in English. And I said, well, we do have Homework Center, and sometimes we have some time, but I don't know that I could commit to reading your child every day. So that's a conundrum. But kids, I think that is a barrier for them, that they don't have that really. So that's what we're trying to do from really early on in family place when we start at the beginning, is to help parents learn what they need to do at home.
Like stronger English language skills.
Take them to the library, get books, read, even if it's in Spanish or bilingual or whatever it is.
How would you say the books break down here? Are most of them in English and Spanish? Are there a lot of multilingual books?
Spanish section, but the materials budget doesn't seem to give us as much in Spanish as we could probably use. So some of them get really worn out. So we cut them some slack in terms of the condition and try to keep them alive as long as we can because they're well circulated. They get used over and over and over again. We don't have as much in Spanish juvenile as we could because generally by that age they're already the kids are already able to read English and go straight to the English. It's a little bit harder for the parents to read to them, but by that time.
Right.
But the early picture books, we have a bunch of those in Spanish. And then the rest is the adult over here. So adult Spanish is very important. It's one of the first things we have to ask when they're looking for a book. English or Spanish? English or Spanish. So.